In the Pacific, they send the message by normal civilian channels and it reaches Pearl Harbor after the attack. The temperature is a balmy 72 degrees as the sun breaks over the horizon on Oahu. The servicemen at the U.S. Naval Base on Pearl Harbor and Hickam Air Force Base look forward to a relaxing Sunday in a beautiful island paradise. At 0753, Lieutenant Masao Fujita keys his radio and issues those now famous words, Tora, 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 signifying the Japanese have achieved complete surprise. Imagine yourself on a ship in Pearl Harbor, shading your eyes to peer into the dawn and seeing airplanes. It's December 7th, 1941, and you are there! Try to imagine your confusion as the first bombs explode, the first sirens sound. Right now, right here. Listen. Listen to the sounds of battle. Hear the sirens just as they did that day. Feel the explosions just as they did that day. Smell the smoke as it burns your nostrils just as they did that fateful Sunday morning. Look, listen, and remember, for we must never forget. The Japanese planes attacked relentlessly. Many servicemen believe the attack was some kind of crazy air raid drill. They think the Japanese planes are American. In fact, one soldier remarks, "This is the best damn drill the Air Force has ever put on." But when the rising sun becomes visible on the wings of the airplanes, everyone knows this is no drill. General Short, the commander of Army Forces, is notified of the attack while playing golf. His response is, "That is ridiculous." General Short will wish he could have been right, but he was not. The highly coordinated attack goes off like clockwork. At 0755, bombers attack Wheeler and Hickam Air Force Base. 2 minutes later, torpedo planes, just like the ones you are seeing in front of you right now, begin their attack on Battleship Row. Sleepy-eyed soldiers stumble outside to see Japanese airplanes everywhere, circling the skies, waiting to attack the ships lined up side by side along Battleship Row. In the middle of the harbor, like sitting ducks, they make great targets. In fact, the Japanese have designed new torpedoes capable of striking the ships in the shallow harbor, a technological advancement the Americans are sadly unaware of. The practice ship Utah is the first to be hit. It lifts and sinks. The light cruiser Raleigh takes 2 torpedoes. The battleship Oklahoma and West Virginia are next. The Oklahoma lifts, then capsizes, rolling off the battleship USS Maryland. When the Oklahoma sinks, her belly thrusting out of the burning waters of Pearl Harbor, hundreds of men are trapped. Only 32 of those men will be rescued, and not until a full 40 hours after the attack. The battleship California takes 2 torpedoes and sinks. And at that same time, the USS Arizona, which has already taken a torpedo, has a bomb strike next to its number 2 turret. The 1,700-pound projectile penetrates deep into the belly, first through 1 deck, then through 2 decks. It lodges next to the number 2 magazine, and seconds later, the Arizona erupts like a volcano rising out of the harbor. Flames shooting almost 500 feet in the air. Almost 1,200 men perish in that moment. Sent to a watery grave, those brave young men still rest in the hold of that great ship at the Arizona Memorial. A testament to their courage, their sacrifice, their honor. At 0835, the first wave ends. The damage is horrendous. In Washington, at 0850 Hawaii time, early afternoon in the States, 1 hour after the attack began, Secretary of State Cordell Hull, unaware of what has transpired in Hawaii, elects to give a letter to the Japanese breaking off peace talks. I have never seen a document that was more crowded with falsehoods and distortions on a scale so huge that I never imagined until today than any government on this planet was capable of uttering them. The second wave of the Japanese attacks forms over Hawaii at 08:55. 132 additional aircraft spread out to hit ships, airfields, and barracks throughout Oahu. But for the second wave, the Americans fight back, making the Japanese pay, inflicting damage of their own. A bomb hits the destroyer down while she sits in dry dock. Another strikes the commander of naval forces, Admiral Husband E. Kimball's flagship, the battleship Pennsylvania, which is in dry dock, detonating guns and ammunition. Dive bombers attack the Raleigh, which has already been hit by torpedoes. One bomb misses the ship's aviation tanks by mere feet. The flames on the West Virginia now reach as high as the foresail, over 400 feet. Yes, the attack is devastating, but the day also has numerous stories of heroism. The Nevada on the south end of Fort Island opens fire at 08:02, and although her captain and senior officers are not on board, Lieutenant Commander Thomas ignores his wounds and gets the ship underway, even with a huge hole in her port bow. Also in the Nevada, 21-year-old Jesse Foster Jr., officer of the deck, and continues to direct fire at the enemy aircraft, even after a bullet passes through his thigh. He refuses to leave his comrades. He refuses to leave the battle. As word of the extent of the devastation reaches Washington, the country is stunned. Later that day, President Franklin Roosevelt addresses a shocked nation.
Yesterday, December 7th, 1941, in Abraham, the United States of America was suddenly and deliberately attacked by naval and air forces of the Empire of Japan. The attack yesterday on the Hawaiian Islands has caused severe damage to American naval and military forces. I regret to tell you that very many American lives have been lost. When I asked for the determination of our people, we will bring to a remarkable triumph so help us God.
At 10 o'clock, the last of the strike force makes its way to the waiting carriers, and the Japanese ships begin their long journey back to Japan. The attack lasted only 120 minutes, but American bases lay in ruins, smoke billowing up from the devastation. 8 battleships, 3 cruisers, 3 destroyers, and 4 auxiliary ships, 18 ships in all, lay foundered in the oil-covered waters of Pearl Harbor. More than 350 aircraft stand broken or completely destroyed. In reality, America's Pacific Fleet has simply ceased to exist. But most terrific, 3,500 Americans lay dead or wounded in the remains of Pearl Harbor and Hickam Air Force Base. The Japanese lost 29 planes and less than 200 men. The Army and Navy spend the rest of the day attending to the wounded and putting out fires. The Arizona alone burns for 3 days. Yes, President Roosevelt issued a call to arms and America listened. No one expected the surprise attack that fateful day. America was not ready for war, but America responded, America pulled together, and America was victorious. America responded. Young men joined the armed forces to defend this nation. And women began working in factories, working long, hard hours to energize American industry. An entire nation refused to give in, refused to quit, refused to allow democracy to be destroyed. This nation stood strong, stood proud, and in the face of adversity, against all odds, this nation, your nation, prevailed. But this was not the first time the United States has been challenged, threatened, or tested, and it may not be the last. Right now, as we enjoy this wonderful day in Wichita, Kansas, our sons, daughters, husbands, our wives, uncles, cousins, friends, our countrymen are defending America in far-off lands, sacrificing so you and I might enjoy the lasting tradition of life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. We must never forget those who have sacrificed to make sure America stays strong. Please remember those brave young men and women. I would ask, when you see someone in uniform, go up to them